Hello everyone. I'm in my car as usual, so hopefully there's not a ton of background noise. I just wanted to talk to you real quick about the hunger scale and ways you can work on implementing it even if you're not really sure of your different hunger cues and things like that. I don't know what the deal was last week. I was struggling with my hunger scale and with just overeating and eating more than my body needed, and I really believe that probably like 95% of it was just me being overtired because I haven't been getting enough sleep, and eventually it starts catching up to me and I start getting a little more like snacky, like I feel like I want to munch on something, and I mean sometimes I legitimately just feel more hungry because you've probably heard me say it before, but like your hunger hormones legitimately get messed up when you're not getting enough sleep. So your body is tired and it starts sending you signals that you're hungry. And normally I can just talk myself through it and say, you're just tired. You don't need to have a snack or whatever. But last week that didn't happen so much. And I mean, it's not like I was pigging out or anything, but when I went back and assessed my week, like I saw that maybe 4 days I had had a snack on my way home from work. And like my drive's only half an hour and we eat pretty much like the second I get home. So there's no reason I couldn't have waited. And I've gone through that with myself numerous times, like you're going to have dinner in a half an hour, you don't need a snack, you're fine. And last week, that just wasn't happening. I was like, no, I'm hungry. I'm having a snack, So anyway, I just noticed that I was having more trouble with that last week than I normally do. So the goal I set for myself this week, number one, just sticking to my plan, because in addition to the added snacking that I didn't need, I had a few little just, bites and tastes of things. And just rationalizing throwing stuff on my plan at the last minute, which then isn't really a plan, right? If you're doing it at the last minute, that's like the opposite of what I'm trying to do by making a plan. So my goal for this week is just simply stick to my plan and get enough sleep. But I also noticed last week there were plenty of times when I could have stopped sooner. And even looking back at my daily plans, I had written notes like, too full, should have stopped sooner. Or, I didn't need to eat the whole portion, like things like that. And last week I made a couple new recipes and I looked up the calories just kind of like for a spot check. And I haven't been tracking my calories or points or anything like the past 6 or 7 months. And I've just been really working on listening to my body, and it's been working really well for me. And it's kind of interesting to see that when I know the calories of something, I almost have a tendency to overeat. Like I knew that the one breakfast I had was 300 calories or less than 300 calories, something like that. So somehow in my head, I just had this subconscious thing of like, oh, you can eat the whole thing because, the calories are reasonable, so you don't have to worry about it. And like, that's not the point. The point is not, oh, it's low in calories. The point is, how much does my body need, right? And it's just weird that throwing in that added data was kind of messing with me a little bit and making me feel like I didn't have to listen to my body because I knew the calories were reasonable or whatever. So anyway, the other thing that I'm trying this week to get myself focused back into really listening to my body is I'm trying to leave 2 bites behind. And the reason I'm recording this now is because I just finished lunch and it was a real struggle to leave those bites behind. Like I was enjoying my food. Before I came to lunch, I was starving, my stomach was growling. I had been hungry for like a half an hour, but I was in my boss's office, so I couldn't exactly just leave because I was hungry. So those are the times that I really have to really think about it and really make an effort. Because of course, when we're super hungry, we tend to eat faster and we tend to have some drama about it. Like, oh, I'm starving, and we think we need to eat more food because we're overly hungry. At least I do. But that's not true. Just because I waited too long to eat doesn't mean that I suddenly then need to eat more food. My body still needs the same amount of food that it would need, whether I was overly hungry or just slightly hungry. So I did it. I left the 2 bites. I don't know if I can show you without totally messing up this video. I'm not so great at videos, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But maybe you can see. How do I flip it? Nope. I have no idea how to flip it around. Let me see if I can show you this way. There it is. Okay, so there's the little bit of my leftovers. And like I said, it was tough. And I just wanted to come on and talk to you guys about it because I think we have a tendency to think like someone that's lost a lot of weight has it easy, or they don't struggle, or they have some secret sauce or something, right? And I'm just going to tell you, like, I know I could have eaten the whole thing. Like, calorie wise, I know that recipe is a decent calorie recipe, but I forced myself to stop, and I set my food aside, and I just sat here, and it's been like 10 minutes, and now I'm really starting to feel it in my belly, and I'm full. I mean, I probably could have left a couple more bites than that. So that's the thing that we all need to remember, is that you're not necessarily going to feel the fullness while you're eating. So that's one strategy you can do if you're trying to figure out your hunger scale or figure out when you're satisfied or when you're full. That's one strategy you can do, is just to leave a couple bites behind. You can also start with like half of what you would normally eat and finish that, and then wait and see if you need more. I'm kind of to the point already that I can eyeball and I know what a reasonable portion is, so I don't necessarily need to start with half anymore. But in the beginning, when you literally have no clue when you're hungry or when you're full, that's a great place to start. Just start with half and then see how you feel. Anyway, I guess I just wanted to let you know that if you're struggling, you are not alone. There are days where it is still hard for me, and I think I've gotten a little bit comfortable as time has gone on, feeling like, okay, I've got this. I'm eating mindfully, I'm doing my thing, I'm good. But it's something that I still need to think about every day. It's not like all of my urges just suddenly go away and that, I magically just don't want to overeat anymore. I mean, when the food's good and you feel super hungry, of course I still want to overeat. But I know it's worth it to me not to overeat. I feel better. Of course, I've lost weight. I have more energy. My clothes fit better. Those benefits all totally outweigh the yumminess of the 2 bites that I just left behind. And I didn't leave anything behind at breakfast because I was eating at my desk and forgot. Like, all of a sudden I looked down and went, oh shoot, it's gone. It was just yummy and I wasn't paying attention. So I really wanted to make sure I did it at lunch, and I plan to do it again at dinner. And I just wanted to share that tip with you. So if you're ever struggling or feeling like you are having trouble staying in control or whatever, start with something that simple. Just eat what you would normally eat and just leave 2 bites behind. And it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel like the end of the world not eating those 2 bites. So don't feel like you're doing something wrong because it feels miserable. Like, that's normal. because you're trying to change and you're not doing what you normally would do, and so your body's going to rebel a little bit, or your brain, I guess, is going to rebel a little bit. But it's okay. Talk yourself through it. Journal about it if you have to, but just know those 2 bites that you leave behind, it's not going to kill you. You're not going to starve. You're not going to suddenly, not be able to make it to your next meal or snack. Those are just the things that you're going to think, but that's not reality. The reality is, after about 10 or 15 minutes, you'll probably realize you had enough and you didn't need those 2 bites anyway. But the more you can get into that habit, the easier it becomes to eat mindfully more often. And you can start seeing that you sometimes think things that aren't reality. And that can help you sort of work through things in the moment as you need to. All right, anyway, I guess I'm rambling at this point like I always do. I got to get going back to work. I hope this was helpful and not just me rambling. And I hope everyone's having a great Monday. Talk to you later.